Um, what? LA. What? How how do you trade for Myles Garrett? Like, I thought he was untouchable. Like, seriously, I thought if there's anyone that isn't going to get traded, it would be Myles Garrett. Well, when you're presented with that offer, I mean, I understand it. I mean, LA gave up so much for him, right? At the very least, you're giving up a two-time Pro Bowl pass rusher who is young and is possibly one of the who was one of the building blocks of your franchises or of your franchise, who had 7.5 sacks last year and was top 10 in forced fumbles. Like, you're getting a very good football player as well as a first round pick next year, which you could use to take another good football player, and then you're getting other draft compensation, which is that is still being negotiated according to Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Adam Schefter. So, like, the later round picks aren't fully negotiated and agreed upon yet. But my initial thought was, holy smokes. Like, the Rams, for once, they have a good pass rush, like a really good pass rush, instead of, yeah, we're the best in the NFL. Like, looking at this, you have Tyler Davis, who is a young up and coming player, and he was good in limited in limited minutes and limited snaps. Braden Fisk, right? Basically a first round pick, early second round pick in his rookie year when he got more time to play. 8.5 sacks. Last year had a bit of a down year with only 3. Right? You have the talent. You have Kobe Turner, right? He is a stud. 7 sacks. I mean, you have a great by committee pass rush. I mean, even like Puna Ford, where he's a good football player, right? 2 sacks, great defensive tackle. And you had Myles Garrett on top of that. Like, Myles Garrett is a stud. I don't want to make it seem like whatever. But do the Rams truly need him? I don't know if they needed him, but I do know it certainly helps. And this Rams team is not willing or is not shy for trading away their first round picks. They already traded for Trent McDuffie earlier on in this offseason, right? I mean, you're bringing in 2 of the best players at their positions. You're giving up premium picks, but it's also like, who cares? I mean, their whole motto was F them picks. And I mean, they won a ring out of it, and you were in the conference championship game last year, and you're like, okay, what was our big weakness? Pass rush and secondary help. Let's go trade for those 2 players. Let's go trade for 2 players who are available for that. And you also go in and you draft a rookie quarterback, and you get all of the ability to compete this year and go win another ring in the Stafford McVay era. I love this trade for the Rams because it's like, is Myles Garrett going to be here for the long haul? I guess, but it's also like he's 30 and he's making a ton of money. But it's also like they're the best team at drafting in the middle to late rounds. So I mean, they can keep cycling through players who aren't on the most expensive contracts, but continually are on one of the best deals in terms of how good they are as players. So I love this trade for the Rams. I mean, I'd give it an A. You fix one of your big weaknesses. You bolster up your defense. Your offense isn't going to go anywhere. And you just get better. I mean, I am livid that the Rams always just seem to get whatever. And I know that's rich coming from an Eagles fan, but like, this is crazy that they can always just trade picks away and continually draft good players. So I'd give this an A or an A plus. For the Browns, I also think this is a good trade, right? You got the most out of Myles Garrett because let's face it, he isn't going to be around. You start legitimately competing if they ever start legitimately competing. But you go and you trade for a young pass rusher, and then you also go and get a first round pick. So you have first round picks at your disposal now, because I believe the Travis Hunter pick, only one of them is conveyed so far. So not only do you pair a young pass rusher next to a young defensive tackle, which those 2, they could free up space for someone else. You also have Malik Collins, who he's also a good player as well. So you have all of those younger pass rushers, excluding Malik Collins, but he was a stud last year. So you have your young pass rushers, but then you also have a first round pick coming. You also know you're not going to be heavily competing. So you're going to have another early pick. You're going to have a later pick in this year. You're also going to have whatever mid-round picks you get for it as well. But this is a phenomenal trade. I mean, if you could think about, okay, what would you want to get for Myles Garrett? A first round pick and a solid contributor. You got both of those. You got a first round pick, probably some round picks, and a very good building block player where at the very least you can say, you know what? He's a good football player, and we don't have many of those. He's at a key position, and if we give him more ability and we put him in a better system, yeah, he could be very, very good. Like, I love this trade for both teams, and for the Browns, I think it's an A because you legitimately know that this is the highest value that Myles Garrett will have on the trading market. You know that by the time you start competing, he's going to be around. You know that first round picks are the main things you need to look for, right? This is a team that is trying to tank, or at least ethically tank. Where if Shedeur Sanders works out, cool. If he doesn't, all right, we can pivot and move on. I mean, I love this trade for the Browns because, well, sure, it sucks trading away a franchise legend. He is maybe, in terms of overall talent, what, the second best Cleveland Brown ever in terms of just overall skill, talent, accolades, all that. I mean, maybe Joe Thomas was better, but you're getting rid of a franchise superstar and you're bringing in players who could be that superstar. You're bringing in assets. You're bringing in things to build for the future instead of try this. Well, we're going to have one good player and the rest of our team's going to be booty cheeks. Like, I love how you're moving off of Garrett at the right time, letting him compete. You're doing right by him and you're doing right by your franchise. So I love this for both teams. For the Browns, I'd give it an A. The Rams, I'd give it an A. I think it's perfect. I mean, the only thing I would have liked to have seen would be a little bit more draft compensation, but again, not all of that is decided. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a third, a fourth, and a fifth added into this deal. But there is a ton of wiggle room that you now have if you're the Browns, because it's like not only do you have a ton of money back because Myles Garrett's off the board, you also have the draft assets. You're a young team, right? Because if you look at it, for your offense, and I know Myles Garrett and Jared Verse don't play offense. But if you look at it, Shedeur, Quinshad Judkins, Dylan Sampson, right? All of these guys are going into year two. Right. Receiving core, Isaiah Bond going into year two. Denzel Boston, rookie. Casey Concepcion, rookie. Malachi Corley, third year. Like, the only old player in your, like, skill positions is Jerry Jeudy, and who knows if he's going to be around. But yeah, like Harold Fannin in his second year. Like, you have the improvements. Zion Johnson, he's a bit older, but he's only 26. Tevin Jenkins, right? 28. I mean, you rebuilt your offensive line, and offensively, if Shedeur Sanders works out, you could be a pretty decent offense. Defensively, right? No better way to help out a younger quarterback than having a good defense to where he doesn't have to constantly feel the need to put up points every single possession or else you're getting killed, right? So not only do you get the influx of talent, you also take some pressure off of Shedeur Sanders, but you're also a young defense too. Jared Verse is 25. Carson Schweschinger, 23. Mason Graham, 22. I mean, it's all of your key players, like even like Logan Fano. I mean, he's going to be a rookie. Like, all of the main play, I forgot to mention him too as well, where that's going to open up space for him. Like, 2 out of your 3 main pass rushers before you bring in Jared Verse are young. So you're gonna have a young pass rusher who's going to be here for a while, and you also have a good football player on Carson Schweschinger, right? So I love this for the Browns. The Browns, they improve for the future. They do take a hit for the now because, let's face it, there's not going to be many football players better than Myles Garrett. For the Rams, this is exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to go all in on this short little window with Stafford and then pivot to the future. That's exactly what they're going to get with Myles Garrett, right? I love this for both teams. Both teams get an A or an A+. And just really unfortunate as a St. Louis guy that the moment the Rams leave, they're just magically so good and their front office is always fantastic. That's a little bit annoying. But if you like the content, make sure to go ahead and like, subscribe. It's absolutely crucial to the channel. I'm sure we're going to have a lot more football news coming out, especially since it's post June 1st. You could see A.J. Brown get moved. You could see maybe Deshaun Watson you could see a lot of moves happen. And I will make sure to be here and record content. So if you want to stay and watch all of that analysis, go ahead and like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell as you can return and see any of my future content coming out. But this is the Scoop with Goop, and until next time, so long, everybody.